Hey, I'm back. Okay, so what? I disappeared for like a week and haven't done this for a week, which is super, super slacking. But there was reasons for that, and the reasons which were not clear for me before, and I was trying to find the answer, and I think I finally got it. I think I finally got the message, but it took almost a week to get the message. Um, yeah, so a week ago, I've accidentally bumped into this beautiful creature who I spent some time with. You know how it usually goes, like you go on date two, and then there's this weird, strange thing which called the gray zone, uh, where you kinda liked the dates and you feel like the other person liked them, but then you go into this funky space where you want to hang out more and they kinda don't, but they don't tell you directly that they don't. They just like, oh, I'm busy and stuff. And I have been in the space before, but the difference this time is I actually recognized that I am in the space. And I started looking at what's happening, like what's happening to my behavior and like what am I doing. And I've started noticing like, okay, so I'm becoming less stable, I'm becoming more manic, I'm slacking on the things that I've used to do, like doing this thing, for example. I haven't done it for a week because I've been busy with other stuff. Reality is I wasn't busy. I was just not making time for that. Um, and I stacked in a bunch of other stuff, like my usual routine and things like this. And I start pondering on like, okay, so I get the message now and I can see how bad is this place, but I still don't see like what is the. It's like I see the beginning of the message. I see like, okay, so now you recognize that you're here. You recognize that this is a really toxic place to be in, and the question is like, what is the? It's a perfection. Like the reason I call it perfection of this state is because I'm kind of often find myself in the state where and it's not just like in a love relationship, right? I like, for example, when I came here to initially to Bali, I was in talks with this company who's like, hey, come and work with us, and I had this awesome project. And then I talked with them first time, and I'm like, it's kind of awesome, but not as what I thought it is, and it's kind of started to be like this. It's the same kind of dating. It's the same exact gray zone when you're like, I don't know, maybe I want it, maybe I don't. I don't know, maybe. So this maybe place, I've been there often. It's like it's a hell because that's where my subconsciousness kicks in so hard and it just starts like creating this wild story and going and traveling everywhere and just like giving me wild dreams where I wake up in the middle of the night and just like, whoa, what was that? um, so that zone is very toxic for both, at least for me, for my love life and like my relationship with work and things like this, and even friends. Like if you have a friend who just like, I kind of want to hang out with him, but not really, and it's like, then don't. So the don't part is that was the message which I forgot because I have my one of my favorite authors, Mark Manson. He shared this article called "Fuck Yes or No," and I remember I read this article probably 3 years ago, and then I'm like, oh yeah, this is super great. Like I'm gonna live by that, and I think I lived by that for probably uh, like a year, and then I went into a massive gray zone, which is friend zone. That is the extreme gray zone where you can be because then you're kind of friends, but maybe, yeah. So the article talks about the thing is like, do you really want to be in a relationship and like friend relationship, work relationship, or love relationship? Where it's maybe where you need to convince someone that they want to hire you, they want to go on a date with you and things like this. Do you really want to be in a relationship? Because the one where it shines is when you say fuck yes, and on the other side they say fuck yes, and it's the only answer you want. because then the person is excited to be with you and you're excited to be with them, and there's no this weird like, oh, I need to do something for you to do this. Like if you follow any of like this pickup artists, they all talk about how do you operate in a gray zone, because gray zone is when you can in theory convince a person to go from maybe to yes. But if they maybe already, they either don't know themselves and they're just afraid to be vulnerable, and they just like with everyone they'd be like, I don't know, maybe, or the problem is in you, and like I know that the problem is in me, that I like when I go into gray zone I give up my own needs. So you kind of need to go in the gray zone at some point, but it's a question of, are you clear that you are in the gray zone, and then when you realize that you are there, then can you quickly bounce off? So it took me a week but to bounce off back. Now I'll hopefully when I get there next time I can just bounce off very quickly. But yeah, like if you need to convince someone to be in a relationship with you, then don't be, because if they don't like your authenticity, the way that you are, then it's not worth to be in a relationship. However, if you're there for something else, then ask for that something else. If you want to have sex and not to be in a relationship, then just go straight and say, hey, I'm not interested in a relationship, but I would like to get laid, and you're beautiful and I am, then let's go and have fun. That's it. And if you have fuck yes there, then go to fuck yes. And don't try to make a relationship from that. So that's the thing that I forgot, and it was a great reminder. It just like popped up on my Facebook today, and I'm like, oh right, yes, thank you. Yeah, assume we don't interrupt by pressing the wrong buttons. Yeah, and it's a tough lesson to learn, but I think it's maybe the lesson that I'm finally getting. So we'll see. Next time I'll get in gray zone. Hopefully I can bounce back very quick. Another thing I've realized when I was in that gray zone is actually when the on energetic level it's very interesting, because you start projecting things. So like I usually project consciously when I like do like the energy work and things, but it's very different when you're doing subconscious projection, when you're trying to you asking the person to like, hey, I need something from you, and you're projecting part of yourself which sends a very strange signals. Like it's very confusing to other person unless they're very intuitive to understand what exactly you're trying to do. So instead of that, just like it will be as clear as possible. And I definitely realized that like there was a moment, and like because we went on like 2 days, right? And it was like first date we was like went spectacular, and then the second day we was kind of and there was this moment where I usually overshare. That's my thing. Like I just share everything, and I think if people don't like it, then don't hang out with me. But when I overshare, there's like this piece where I should have like made it very clear what it is, and I didn't. And that then it becomes on the subconscious level. And on the subconscious level, that's how you get in the gray zone, because then the other person is like, and you like being like also like, and yeah, it's very unclear. So communication is the key, is the thing. Yeah, I'll try to keep this, try to go back to recording. Well, try to recording this every day and see how it goes. See you.